Will it record now? There we go. Cool. Well, Lawrence, what'd you think?
PlayStation 5. I was pretty heavily underwhelmed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mostly because there's only 2 games that are launching with the system, and it's Devil May Cry 5 and Fortnite. That's it. And then Holiday is 2 more games, Miles Morales and Ratchet and Clank, I think. And that's it. That's all you got.
Yeah, underwhelmed for the launch for sure. I guess they got me excited for the games they're going to have, but that's in a year. That's a really good point.
If that. Let's see. Like God of War is 2021. That's really cool. That's really cool. If it's only
delayed for sure, though, right?
does Sony Santa Monica delay things? I feel like if they weren't confident, they wouldn't have said it unless they're just that desperate to sell PlayStation 5s on promise. And if that's the case, why wouldn't they have included more of a tease for God of War too? Why wouldn't they have had a gameplay sequence or something? Something more like the logo is something you show at the very end of something when something's very long. Like Sekiro's tease at, I don't know. That to me felt like a tease for a game that's a couple years off. So yeah, it does feel like, I guess in that regard, it feels like it might get delayed, but there wasn't anything else. There wasn't anything else. I mean, there was plenty of other games, don't get me wrong, but
I was excited to see the games, but you're right, for launch, no, there's basically nothing.
Demon's Souls is launched too. Jeff Keighley confirmed.
Oh, okay.
Why wouldn't they put that in the marketing?
Yeah, they that's what I said. They definitely would have put that in the marketing if it was a launch title.
Also, I'm gonna
100%.
let me look at his little Twitter feed here. People really love, Demon's Souls is a launch title for PlayStation 5. That's okay.
All right. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I guess.
First reply is, "Why are you better at this than Sony?" Which is valid. I don't know. I feel like Sony, wasn't really trying to sell you a PlayStation 5 on day one as much as just trying to get you bought into the ecosystem. Which I guess I don't think they did a good job of that though.
I agree. The games they showed for their PlayStation Plus was sort of like, you could buy all these games really cheap in the last 5 years or whatever.
Yeah, it seems like a really quick stopgap to try and patch over the generational divide, which pretty much everyone's doing. Nintendo has their re-release package out this holiday. Microsoft has Game Pass, except they've been building that up for years. So now Sony's trying to imitate it at just the last minute, getting like kind of a lot of crumbs, really. Like Persona 5, not Royal. Mortal Kombat X, not 11. It's like it's not even the newest version of some of these games.
Yeah.
But it is a cool greatest hits of PS4. So if you miss out on the last generation, that's plenty to use a PS5 for, I guess. But then why would you pay $400 for it or $500 for it? When you could probably buy a cheap used PS4 for $250, $200? I don't know.
We should talk about the price. Kraken wants to talk about Final Fantasy, so we'll talk about Final
Fantasy.
We should talk about the price first, though, because everybody wants to talk. That's everybody was tuning in asking for the price. So, what do you think of 500 and 400?
Personally, I'm kind of impressed. I feel like that shows Sony's willing to be a little more competitive. I was expecting 500 for the digital model and 556 for the disc one. So I think Microsoft leaking prices early pushed their hand down a little bit. I think it's very good that they're hitting price parity. It would be very bad for them this generation, I think, if they decided to go more expensive thinking that their first party could carry it, especially since there's no first party. No is not fair. There's a couple of first parties. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty good. I just can't. Like, it's a good price, I feel like. It's a fair price, which is rough to say, given that everything in the world has been destroyed, and some people are sitting on absolutely nothing.
I do think it's fair. I mean, $500 for 2 brand new consoles is a pretty good deal in the sense for PlayStation 5 or for the Xbox Series X. I don't think that's bad for the machine they're giving you.
I agree.
Yeah, I really don't. And I was also really happy, like Lawrence said, that PlayStation or Sony wasn't cocky enough, since they won the console war in quotations. They won the console war the previous generation. They're like, you know what, we're going $600 because they'll pay for it. I'm glad they didn't do that. I'm glad they were like, yeah, no, we actually have to be competitive still. And they're doing it. So everybody has also been asking this, and I don't know if we have the answer to this question: if the internals for the discless are the same at $400 or if they've just taken away the disk drive. I would imagine they're not. I would imagine they might be a little different since it's $100 cheaper, but I could be wrong.
I think they would have had to have said something about that by now. To me, the way that I read the way that the case is lined out is that it just doesn't have a disk drive. It's kind of impressive and pretty cool that they actually have two different form factors. That probably makes manufacturing a little more expensive and is going to make, like, if you have to make two different form factors for cases, that just kind of complicates everything. I expected the digital one to just have a little hump where it should be. Yeah, $100 is not what an optical drive costs. So
Not at all.
yeah, I think they're putting it at $400 just to try to be the price leader for next gen. Because if it's like a $400 PS5 versus a $500 Series X, but then the Series S further complicates it by at $300. So man, I feel bad for anyone working retail this holiday. They have a lot to try to explain to everyone. You guys, all you GameStop and Best Buy employees, you're gonna have a whole script worked out that you're gonna have to walk everyone through.
Well, the Series S we were talking about before the stream started, and the Series S is relatively underpowered compared to the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5, but it is only $300.
Mm-hmm.
So I still don't think that that's like a nail in the coffin for Xbox.
No way. Especially
yeah,
if people don't have
my-
4K TVs, it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's a good question from Kraken. He said he think they're operating at a big loss for $400. Usually yes, but I don't know about big. Usually they're operating at a loss. Generally, right, Lawrence?
Oh yeah. I think 400 is probably a loss. I would. Oh boy, just kind of shooting from the hip. I would guess the manufacturer cost of a PS5 is probably around $500, which is doesn't mention all the R&D and the research and the cost of establishing manufacturing for custom hardware like that. So yeah, they're still doing that thing where they eat a loss on the hardware and then try to make it all up on first-party software and their publishing agreements, which, like, you can still see a lot of that in this console exclusivity business, how they're still just trying to run around and get as many favors as they possibly can from their publishing partners to try and drive up the value of their platform. It's smart, but it's starting to look a little dated, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these were exclusive. They're console exclusives, and then also on PC. Who knows when they're coming to PC? But they still were exclusives, and I just think it's funny that people are still upset about exclusives when that's clearly how they're paying for their business. I think we're all educated enough now to know that that's the way these exclusives are going. It's the reason they're exclusives is because that's how they're paying for their business. Is they're getting people to come to PlayStation for a God of War or for a Spider-Man or something like that. Again, if it's keeping the system going and it's keeping these games getting developed, I don't see a problem. It just sucks for people that don't have enough money. That's it's. But hey, the whole world sucks for that. So I don't know. It's one of those things that I think we probably have to accept, and that's probably the way it's going to be for a while.
Yeah, and I don't. Oh boy, that bites off a whole weird conversation where there are people who espouse the values of pro-consumerism, which is to say every product should be cheap and easily accessible via whatever means the consumer wants to access it by. Yeah. And this is somehow like a drumbeat that people treat as a universal good no matter what. I don't know that I quite agree with that. I feel like if you pay for something to be created, you kind of have the right to determine how it's released to the market and the ways at which people can interface with it.
I agree. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Sony can do things because they narrow their scope. They can make games like Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us Part 2 when it is on a locked hardware platform. That's not something you really get when you have to open it up to multiple platforms. So I do think that a lot of the times we enjoy the benefits of console exclusivity without realizing that those are the benefits, kind of like you were saying. That's the machine that produces some of the really cool and unique games we get to play.
Absolutely. I mean, like I don't know that a God of War, the way it was made, the most recent God of War, I don't know that would have been made if it hadn't been exclusive. Because Sony knows they can pour a bunch of money into this project, and it's very hyper focused because they're not worried about putting it on 4 different platforms and all the QA testing and all sorts of other problems that come along with that, all the marketing across all those platforms. They just know it'll be on this one. I mean, it's just like Apple. It's exactly like
yeah.
The reason Apple has always said the reason they make everything inside their own little ecosystem and it always has to have, weird conditions for each of the devices is because they can control every aspect of creation, development, marketing, and that's why you get what you get from Apple. And again, I'm not saying it's right. It's just I'm explaining it.
Yeah. Same thing with like Nintendo. You still don't have Mario on PC, and you probably never will, because to them it's more valuable to restrict and control access to that property.
Yep, exactly.
Well, what did you think about the games? Apparently, Sony is pretty bad about actually announcing things. Apparently, Miles Morales is a launch title, and it comes with a remastered version or the Ultimate Edition comes with a remastered version of the PS4 Spider-Man. And then also Demon's Souls is a launch title. But apparently is also coming to PC. Or that's the implication. There was a tweet. Hold on.
There was a tweet.
There was a tweet. So it says, PlayStation exclusive. Not available on other consoles for a limited time. Also available on PC. I don't know where this slide came from. People are finding like marketing materials that weren't included or communicated in this event. Which is another thing that I'm kind of... Oh, it's at the end of the trailer. Man, how did I miss that? It's at the end of the... It's at the end of the Demon's Souls trailer?
Oh. That's a launch title?
I guess.
And then...
Oh, it was the end of the trailer. They uploaded to YouTube, not part of the conference. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Got it. Okay, so then Demon's Souls, is it coming straight to PC as well, simultaneously? To PC and PS5? No way.
Doesn't say. It just says PC. It just says it's also coming to PC. So that's cool.
Okay. All right.
That's the other thing is like... what... This conference was very muddled in its messaging. Why break it out like that? I feel like at some point someone at Sony was like, no, we have to finalize this trailer now. And that was like 2 weeks ago. And then people kind of got all their launch timing confirmed and they just refused to go back and update the video package. I don't know.
Well, not to digress about this specific point too much, but the marketing for these consoles and stuff has been just so much like spread apart that I don't like it. I keep having to like Google specific details for each console and when was revealed when and what and all that stuff. That's the only advantage to having an E3 is they had to basically tie up all those loose ends at E3 for the most part and then do it all at once. It's like one big shot. And this they don't have to. They can do it whenever they want. So it's it very becomes like muddled marketing and it doesn't help for everybody.
I agree. I think, interestingly, bizarrely now more than ever, I feel like games media actually has a role in distilling this information so people can actually consume it properly. Because you're right. When it's at E3 and you have an hour and a half and that's it, and it's all these like releases are bundled up in one chunk, and then people have time to like word of mouth all this info. That seems to work far more effectively than everyone deciding their own marketing beats and doing this invisible dance around each other's marketing beats. I feel like that's kind of what we've seen as Microsoft and Sony sort of looking at each other across the ocean, binoculars, waiting for each other to make a move.
Yeah, I was going to say I would love to have seen what happened in the last... So Xbox Series X announced their pricing, what, was it, a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, accidentally it leaked.
Accidentally, yeah. And then I wonder if anything changed on the Sony side. Like if they saw that and they were like, oh shit. Like we're going to have to change everything now because we were going to do 600 and now we're going to do 5. Like I wonder. I don't know. I think it'd be really interesting to find out.
They probably had game plans ready to go. And like they probably had price tolerances they had already negotiated and were willing to accept. I'm sure that Sony was like, if Microsoft announces 500, we're hitting 500, 400. If Microsoft announces 600, we're hitting 550. Like I'm pretty sure that they had already discussed their strategies and their tolerance for loss well before announcing the price.
I would hope so. That would make sense.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I don't know. You never know. This is it's good. All right, Kraken, are you in voice chat? You want to talk about Final Fantasy?
Final Fantasy, my man. Let's talk about it.
I don't know anything about Final Fantasy, and I'm only going to talk until the next beat comes, and as soon as it...
Ooh, there it is.
Oh, man. We almost had him for a second.
Damn it. I wanted to talk about Final Fantasy with my best friend, Kraken.
Well, Lawrence, you've been Final Fantasy. You're a huge fan. Are you excited about Final Fantasy 16?
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to go a little more dark and gritty with it. There's more like actual, like functional armor and desaturated combat and pretty anime boys being tough and grizzled and stuff. There's blood, which is kind of not a thing Final Fantasy usually dabbles in.
Yeah.
So, Yoshi P is producing? Oh, damn, okay. So that's why this game might actually come out someday. Yeah, Square's had an issue for a while of actually releasing software. And I think everybody was sort of expecting old Square. There were rumors that Final Fantasy 16 would be shown. And if we were dealing with Square circa 2 years ago, yeah, this game would be 4 years away. But if Yoshi P is in the mix, I don't know. He's been diplomatically sort of vocal about how he thinks Square needs to change as a company, and I think part of that is producing more software in a more direct way. Square seems pretty cool with just taking it easy and trying to make like art, whereas Yoshi P is like, no, we can make a game. Like we know how to make games. Let's just make games again. So maybe they didn't make their own engine again for this game, which would be good.
Yeah, I as somebody who has not played really, any of the Final Fantasies at all, is this the one that's getting me in, Lawrence?
Probably not. I mean, a lot of the tone of Final Fantasy is still there. It's anime boys, it's crystals, it's magic beasts. The combat system also probably not your flavor. It looks pretty similar to 15. That's sort of like open combat Devil May Cry kind of thing, which more people seem to like. I don't know. Did you like 7 Remake at all?
I actually really did. Yeah.
Oh.
I wish that I had been able to play it more. It was just one of those things that the more that I played it on Twitch, the more like it was dying out on Twitch, so I didn't get to play it. But I really liked the game. I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay, well then 16 might be your bag. 15 was weird because it was one of those games that sort of languished in development hell for a long time. And you can kind of read how scattershot and unfocused it is when you play it, particularly the way the plot is sort of laid out and revealed. Also, you kind of have to watch the movie to really get some of the tenets of the story and the setup and the world and the lore. Who knows if 16 is going to be like that? Square's been in a place of storytelling for a long time where they're totally okay confusing the hell out of the player. Which is more of a Japanese kind of storytelling. Westerners don't dig on that super much unless you're in like a Kingdom Hearts Discord just bashing your thoughts all down. But I mean, the thing that a lot of people are confused about justifiably, every numbered Final Fantasy is its own game. They just put a number on it because that's just how they do it. So it's not like you have to have any experience with the series at all.
Right, it's just separate stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're loosely connected via theme and some like cheeky like references and stuff, but that's about it.
Oh, okay. Like they're like Quentin Tarantino films. It sounds like.
Yeah, that's a really good way to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah, those are all supposedly in the same universe, but you can barely tell. So.
I mean, Final Fantasy games even less so. They're directly not in the same universe. It's
wow.
Yeah, very literally not connected at all. Sometimes there will be like a reference, and then somebody will write 18 pages on a wiki somewhere about how this proves they're all in the same universe, but it's just not a thing.
Kraken, do you want to say anything about Final Fantasy?
Emo hair, and I liked that they were in, knight's armor, and it looked.
Oh,
damn! Got him again.
The timer got him again. Man, what a nightmare! Kraken said that's been going off for what, 5-6 hours?
Oh my god!
Oh, it started at 9 a.m. Yeah.
That would drive me. I'd be out of the house. I would be long gone.
I was, and then I missed the internet, and I came back, and now here I am.
Yeah, well, what's your option? You get to go outside and huff the poison air? Jeez.
Ugh.
Also, I did think it was very odd that Kraken was active on Discord before noon, but now I know why.
Now you know why. Yep, because he was rudely awoken.
I can't stand the thought of Kraken with his little stocking cap on and his little jammies, all nestled up in bed with a little feather like floating above his mouth as he's sleeping. And then a smoke alarm just explodes and rustles him out of his sweet slumber.
I swallowed that feather. It fell down.
Guys, it's not a smoke alarm that you can replace the battery with. It's built into the building. Everybody in chat, replace the battery. Just change it. No. It's not like that at all. It's in the building. It's built into the building.
One of my favorite aspects of the human condition ever is to witness a problem and immediately assume that no one else has thought of the most obvious and direct solution. To be fair, sometimes they don't. So throwing out those ideas do matter, but often it's It's like, oh, replace the battery. Wow, never thought of that one. Damn.
Kraken is an adult and has been for a very long time. I feel like he probably would have tried that.
Those have batteries too. Why are people arguing with me about the specifics of my fire alarm system? I know what I can and can't do.
This is the internet. This is peak internet, Kraken. They're arguing
are
with
in
you
every
about
person's
your
apartment.
home.
Am I just supposed to go in and please could I remove the fire alarm so it doesn't trigger in mine too?
We're supposed to be screaming at each other about video games, not fire alarms. This is the time. Who's gonna win? Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. Who's gonna win?
I mean, at this point, I feel like Sony still got the upper hand in terms of selling consoles, especially since they're the same price as Xbox Series X. But, I mean, only time will tell. But that's the way I feel about it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Their brand power is too strong. They've got bigger, more powerful brands that show off better. So compare Miles Morales Spider-Man to Halo Infinite. Which one looks like it's going to be worth a couple hundos, and which one does not? Granted, you can't even play Halo Infinite on launch day, so who cares? But yeah.
You're right. Yeah, you're right about that. Miles Morales, is this... So, I am still unclear as to if this is a completely separate video game, or is it like an add-on to Spider-Man, or how is this working?
So the people compared it to Last Light, which I think is pretty appropriate. You will download it and play it. You don't have to own PS4's Marvel Spider-Man. Okay. But I'm gonna guess it's in Manhattan. It's got the Christmas treatment, so there's gonna be lights and snow everywhere. But it's still the same Manhattan from PS4 Spider-Man. There will be I'm gonna guess 7 to 8 hour campaign, and then that's it. And then you also get the old Spider-Man and the Ultimate thing. So yeah, it's a standalone game, but it's not Marvel Spider-Man in scope or runtime.
So are you're gonna pay $60 for this?
That's oh wait, is it coming out on PS4 as well? Yes, you will, because you have a PS5 and you want to see something really pretty on it.
Wow, $60. So okay, yeah, if it's
I think it's 50. Oh, it's 40. Never mind. Wait,
it's 40.
People are throwing out it's 50. Everyone's throwing out different numbers. God, you guys, Google. I guess I can do that too. Yeah, 50 is a bit rough for that, but it's going to be big, dumb, and pretty. I mean, Marvel Spider-Man was big, dumb, and pretty, and people were just fine with it. So, yeah, $70 for Ultra, which I guess includes a remaster of the PS4 Spider-Man. So, people will buy that and feel like they got a deal because they think they get 2 games, whereas really it's just kind of a cutscene-laden DLC for Spider-Man, which is also fine. I didn't see... What I was really hoping for is in the 2 seconds of gameplay we got to see, I was hoping to see some kind of new fundamental combat mechanic. He's got his Assassin's Creed meter where he gets a takedown if he gets 2 charges or something. I guess, no, it's just 1. Whatever, it doesn't matter. He's got camouflage on a cooldown. I didn't see gadgets. That might just be it. And the gadgets weren't all that interesting in Spider-Man either.
That's pretty standard. I mean, I feel like the appeal to Marvel Spider-Man initially was that the combat was just really fun to play.
Oh, that's right. It's set in Harlem. I wonder if that one cutscene is in Harlem. I don't know if the whole game's in Harlem, but... Yeah, you're right, Bruce. The combat mechanics are simple enough, and it plays cinematically enough that it makes everyone happy. Somebody says Spider-Man is half the length of the original. Okay.
Oh, Miles Morales?
I guess so, yeah. Yeah, that's something, I guess. Really, the core is like, you're going to spend your $500, $550 on a game or whatever. You're going to plug it in when you come home, and you better see something really pretty. Like, you need a payoff right away for the money you spent. And a big, pretty 4K, 60 FPS Spider-Man game is exactly the kind of thing that Sony would want you to be delighted at. But you're probably going to beat it in the first evening. And then you'll just kind of maybe flip around the city for a little bit, do some challenges. Yeah, Harlem is in Manhattan. I'm like, what? That made me... It's like Hell's Kitchen. It's just a subcategory of Manhattan. Somebody was like...
It's still a part of New York.
Didn't want to call that out immediately, but I was like, something feels wrong about that.
But eventually, I mean, you touched on it. Eventually, people are just going to end up staring at that box, being like, well, I played Demon's Souls and Spider-Man.
Demon's Souls will last a while, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not unexpected for new console launches.
No, it's not.
What bums me out is there's like... What I always want to see from new console launches is the raft of like very inventive downloadable games that also show off the tech. So, you know, like your Geometry Wars Retro Evolved, your Resogun. Where's that game for PlayStation 5 or Series X? it hasn't been in marketing at all. Nobody really cares about the indie downloadables, which at least usually have a sizzle reel, but those aren't even represented here.
Yeah, they're not going to show that in this specific like really big game reveal the price type of marketing thing. We'll probably see that before though.
Oh, that's true.
Before
Bug
November.
snacks.
Yeah,
well,
Bug snacks. No, I'm excited about that. Just what is that? That is the most inventive. You know, it's dude. It's a catch 'em all, but with some moral.
Oh, the timer's up. Well, it's too bad. I wanted to hear what Kraken had to say, but
no longer. I see where he was going with it, though. I do like games that ask you to feel bad about consumption.
I'm gonna play Bug Snacks, all right? But I'll be surprised if Bug Snacks lasts longer than a day or two. I'll be like, okay, you know what? You got me. You proved me wrong, Internet. Bug Snacks is a hit.
I'll personally take that bet.
Well, yeah, but you're just gonna play it out of spite. So.
What?
Oh yeah.
I do everything in my life to spite you personally, to prove you wrong.
That's a good point. There's that Astrobot game. I guess that's supposed to be like the amuse-bouche for the PS5, like the 1-2 switch for the PS5. Is kind of what I'm waiting to see. And I guess that is Astrobot. Although I guess they're trying to hold that brand. What happened to all of like Sony's downloadable companies, the ones that made Pixel Junk and Unfinished Swan and all that? Where'd they go? What are they doing these days? I don't know.
I mean, that doesn't really show off the tech.
No, but for me, what I've been starved for from both Microsoft and Sony is, what am I going to do on the first night when I plug this thing in? I mean, this conference said launch window for Miles Morales, so at least that is launch day, at least. So yeah, Miles Morales for PS5, okay, that's buttoned up and put away. I mean, for Series X, you gotta, I guess, download some old 360 games and see how good they look?
Hell yeah. Series X, they don't have any launch games? That can't be right. No launch games?
I mean, it depends. So here's the wild thing is Microsoft has actually launched a weird number of games this fall. And they could have just sat on them until Series X launched, like Battletoads and Grounded. Not that those are system sellers, but it could have been something to be like, hey, look at our first party. We're showing up in a big way on Series X. But no, they put them out right now because I guess they don't really care much about selling boxes. It's more about the service. So if they can get you on Game Pass now, they've already won. Whereas, Sony is like, they could have sat on Gears 5. Yeah, there's some big releases that they could have sat on. There's also no Forza launching with Series X? Or wait, is it Motorsport 7?
There's a Forza, but it wasn't. I don't think it was launch window, right? It wasn't wasn't it 2021 or something?
I guess it's getting hard. Yeah, it's next year.
I thought it was 2021. Yeah. We should talk about Harry Potter.
Yeah. How do you feel about that, Bruce?
Oh, I'm super excited.
I'm so excited, dude.
Oh, the timer!
It's getting shorter.
It got him again. No, I'm actually really excited, and the thing that we were talking about with Game Attack was that, is it co-op? Because if this is co-op, then I'm really excited about this kind of stuff. That said, though, games that are made by Portkey Games, the ones that made the Harry Potter Pokemon Go, and there was another mobile game that they made I wasn't crazy about. So I hope that they can make a AAA style game for the PlayStation 5 that I want to play more than once or twice, and that is co-op. Because that sounds exactly like the Harry Potter experience I want, or the Wizarding World experience I want. Because I love this world and I love being in it. Kraken, are you going to play with me?
Yes. Did you ever play that old? I think it was like a PS1 title of Harry Potter. No. Fuck. There were so many interesting ones. The PS1 ones were super cursed, but there was this one where it was like an actual open world exploration one, and it was really good. Yeah. I'm gonna preemptively mute before the beep, but there's.
All right.
I'm excited for a true open world Harry Potter game.
Me too. I don't know if this is open world or not.
I mean,
people are in the chat. It's not an exclusive either, so I guess it could be on any platform.
Well, it's from Avalanche, who are the developers behind Just Cause and Rage 2.
Right.
All games that seem like they would have co-op but don't. So that's something to consider, is that Avalanche is not necessarily known for co-op open world games.
This is confirmed to have co-op, right? Oh, you're just saying that you don't have experience with it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Jay Riot says it's an open world action RPG, which is cool. So I hope that it's co-op. It would be weird to just do an open world action RPG that's single player, but maybe they do that. I don't know.
It's not. Wait.
If it's anything like
How can you say it's not
in the Harry
wait.
Potter universe, that would be.
Somebody says it's not Avalanche
That's what I hope.
Studios. Is it a
That
different
at the
Avalanche?
beginning.
Yeah, maybe there might be two Avalanches. I don't know. I am also amused, like, people hollering in Twitch chat are often absolutely correct. There are two. Oh, okay. What's the other Avalanche then? And also, why would they name multiple things Avalanche? Fuck.
So wait, there's another Avalanche that didn't do Just Cause?
It says developed by Avalanche, period. I don't...
Huh.
There are two Avalanche studios. One is owned by WB, which is used to be the Avalanche that worked on Disney Infinity. Oh, okay. Why did you name yourself that? God, what is your
Weird.
problem? What is your problem, Avalanche?
What's with Blizzard and Avalanche being common, game company names? Is it just like cool, cold, like a processed
yeah.
computer?
Immediately, yeah. It makes you think
Yeah,
cool.
cooling. Yeah.
Yeah, Kraken, I can't wait. Lawrence, you want to be in our wizard gang?
Sure. I mean, there's very little about that game. One, that trailer showed
No
nothing.
gameplay.
Yeah,
no gameplay.
just like the crappiest, like low frame rate sequences of you getting sucked into walls and stuff.
Yeah.
I have very bad associations with Harry Potter of anything other than the mainline Harry Potter things. Their attempts to build out this world have been horrific.
Yeah.
I don't know the pedigree of any of the developers. I don't know anything about this game, and this trailer did not make it look that interesting. I mean, it looks good. Don't get me wrong. Like, it looks great, but I don't know anything about it. It looks like it's.
I kind of agree with you, actually. The more that I watch this trailer, the more I'm only excited because it's in the world of Harry Potter. That's it.
It does. It looks like there's a lot of custom characters like walking around. So there are like open world areas, and then these giant monster fights. I guess maybe, I don't know. Maybe it'll be like a Monster Hunter, but with Harry Potter's.
Maybe that'd be fun.
It could be. Yeah.
But yeah, since Harry Potter is one of the biggest brands in the world, it's like Kraken and I are just immediately sold on it. Like, we're gonna buy it and play it, even if it's trash. Like, then I would imagine a lot of people are in the same boat. So
I guess
we'll find out.
Is it just being in Hogwarts that is appealing? Having a little wizard wand?
Kraken,
I
are you
think
there?
Yeah, I think like the stuff about Harry Potter that always appealed to me was the kind of Hogwarts like class to class, specialize in a type of magic and like never really know what's going to happen. Like I lost interest. I mean, I still read all the books, of course, but I lost interest a little bit once they left the school and stuff felt more kind of linear plot versus like the whole idea of just coming across a new character with a different shtick every day was pretty cool. So I would like to hope that the RPG elements of this are that you really can design and specialize a character that's kind of like a side cast character of the universe, and you're not like the hero. You're just like a kid in school while this shit's going on.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Because I mean, like everyone, everybody in chat's like, "Which house are you?" and all that sort of stuff. And I'm excited to do all that stuff. I'm excited to be like, I'm a Gryffindor, and like, this is what my little robe looks like, and this is I specialize in dark arts magic or whatever. Like, I'm excited to do all of those things because of the Harry Potter world. Yeah, but if the game is bad, like Marvel's Avengers, then yeah, because I mean, I love Avengers. I fucking love that. Like Marvel, what is implied by the Marvel Cinematic Universe. However, I tried. Lawrence knows I gave that game 7 million chances, and I just can't continue to play it. So, if that's what happens with this game, that's what happens. But hopefully, it'll be better than that.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, aside from the classics, the PlayStation 1 games, there hasn't really been another attempt to like AAA Harry Potter, has there? Nope.
That's why I'm excited, because I feel like it's long overdue.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. I get Marvel's Avengers vibes from this, because I mean, when we first saw the Avengers reveal, I think all of us kind of looked at each other and we're like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
And the game is basically that. So
Well, at least they didn't try to like show like a baby. Oh my god, a baby Dumbledore or something like that.
Young Dumbledore.
Yeah, he's like time travels or something.
I'm sure we're gonna meet Dumbledore's great grandfather. I'm sure of it.
Yeah,
And I'm sure we'll meet Voldemort's,
Chumbus Dumbledore.
Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna meet those characters. We'll go, oh, Dumbledore. But,
What concerns me is the trailer has you like fighting dragons and shit. So I don't understand how there can be a narrative where you're just some dude at Hogwarts while you're downing dragons and rock golems and who knows, man? Maybe that stuff happens every day there.
I don't know. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I'm looking forward to it. All right, Call of Duty.
COD.
This looked awesome.
It looks fun. I appreciated that, like, coming off of something like Marvel's Spider-Man, a big dumb movie game. At least in this, the like QTE sections were mini game segments. So you have to like get this stupid sniper shot, slow-mo cool action sniper shot, and like the RC car. At least you're actually doing something. That's a mini game. It's not just hold triangle to watch the movie happen. So, and I've always like Call of Duty is always a fun big action movie ride.
Yeah, it really is. And this got me even more excited. The part where he grabs the human shield, snaps the grenade, puts it in his pocket, then pushes him towards the barrel and explodes him. Man, I was into it. I was like, all right, I'm looking forward to this. The Modern Warfare single player campaign was fucking awesome. So I hope that I'm sure that Raven can carry on that tradition of a great single player.
Yeah, I guess Raven's doing the campaign this time.
It looks like it, yeah.
Which is
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
They've made so many good single player games, from another time. I don't know how much of that talent is still around that made games like, Quake 4 and Singularity and stuff. Hopefully a lot of those people are still at the company because those campaigns are sick. And I very much look forward to them just basically making a big dumb Schwarzenegger 80s action movie.
Yeah, I mean it looks great. We had Chris Lynn in our chat from Raven, and I don't know if he was working on the single player at all, but I was super proud. I was like, man, this game looks great. Like I'm stoked. I'm glad that Call of Duty is sort of having a resurgence as like this is a really really good game. Like people shouldn't discount Call of Duty as it's just another crazy futuristic soldier man hop in an exoskeleton, fire rockets at people. So
can't wait for that Cold War mech. Getting Reagan bot stomping around.
I mean, hey, if they put that in, I'll play it. I'm in.
Man, I just sometimes watching this, like seeing Call of Duty gradually accept what it always has been, always does remind me of like the early days when people insisted that Call of Duty was realistic.
Yeah.
And yeah, now it's cars vaulting over planes and stuff. It's great. I'm glad that it's finally at home with itself because for a while it had this kind of weird identity crisis, trying to serve an audience that wanted to believe this was realistic warfare or something.
Right.
And now it's just abandoning all pretense. It's all weed leaves and explosions. Praise God. It's so good.
It looks great. I can't wait. Let's see here. What else we got?
I did appreciate they didn't try to do like all gillied up or something like that either. There's kind of a weird legacy of Call of Duty gameplay demos, being cinematic or doing tension or something like that. So I'm glad this was it was a little amount of tactical talking and then just gunfire and explosions and bodies flopping around.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Resident Evil.
Oh.
Yeah, Resident Evil Village.
I'm so excited for that. I'm very excited for it. It was like I love that setting of like folklore, obscure village kind of, I don't know, Transylvanian vibes almost, like very kind of gothic castle vibe. I don't know. I'm excited for it.
I was super impressed. I was impressed by Resident Evil 7, and I'm not generally like the other Resident Evils. I could kind of take or leave. I think they're fun, but to me they've never been really scary up until 7. 4 was good, but 7 really scared the shit out of me. So I'm looking forward to this one. I hope that it continues to be really scary and like super creepy, kind of like an Outlast or an Amnesia.
Not like campy.
Right.
Yeah, Resident Evil always has like a weird identity crisis between those two extremes.
Yep.
This one does seem like it's much more in the Resident Evil 7 tick, though. Because I'm pretty sure it's first person, and I'm pretty sure you're still playing as Ethan from 7.
Really?
I think that's what I remember reading, is that, yeah, you were still Ethan. Who was kind of a non-character. Like, you really don't know anything about him from 7. But it's funny you bring up 4, because holy moly does this game look like Resident Evil 4. And also, what was with that crazy, like, Tim Burton animated sequence thing?
Yeah.
That was super cool.
It was really neat. It was really, really cool. I thought it looked. It was kind of out of nowhere, but I thought it worked.
I thought it worked really well too. Also, it's just to some degree, I'm glad to see AAA games that still have little injections of wild creativity. Because there's an 8 on the end of this, and I think that comes with certain burdens sometimes when it comes to producing. You can't just do anything you want. But then, yeah, somebody at Capcom was like, "What? Hey, I just saw Coraline, and I'm super feeling it. What if we just did that for Resident Evil a little bit?" And somebody else said, "Sure, let's do it." So, and just there's something about like, yeah, the desaturated Eastern European sort of cozy, creepy, culty village. It reads so Resident Evil 4, which I think goes hand in hand with a lot of rumors about them doing a Resident Evil 4 remake. Capcom is never shy about turning profits on their catalog of software. So I could see them launching a Resident Evil 4 remake alongside 8 and kind of pairing them as sort of a branded thing together.
Yeah, Resident Evil generally doesn't excite me, but this having played Resident Evil 7, this really made me like kind of sit up and take notice a little bit and be like, all right, yeah, you know what? I would play this really fucking scary game. And that cinematic in the middle reminded me a lot of like how Ghost of Tsushima does those kind of graphic novel-y animated sequences for the Mythic Tales.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think it's such a cool change of pace for a video game. So that's why this whole Coraline Limbo sequence looked cool.
The way they integrated the 8 or the 7 is so stupid. How dare you? No. I mean, it's 8.
It is stupid.
No.
Yeah, it's stupid, but I love it.
Bah.
Yeah. They had to think of a word that had VIII in it. So they found village.
I still think, man, the masterstroke they did between Resident Evil 7 Biohazard and Biohazard 7 Resident Evil. It's like one of the... I've been waiting for them to I don't know why they still have those as 2 separate brands, but I don't think they're going to do something nearly so clever with Village, but at least it's still there. Boy, IX is going to be tough.
It probably takes them days to figure out how to get a Roman numeral in a word.
I mean, I guess there's plenty of words that end with IX. Can't think of any, but I'm sure they're there.
Is there?
I keep thinking of Crispix, the cereal, so that's it.
Crispix.
Crucifix, that's perfect.
There we go. There it is. That's
yeah,
the one.
Absolutely.
That's the one. Helix. Helix is also really good.
Oh, that's perfect!
Yeah, Helix is really good.
Oh, that's too good, because it's going to go back. It's going to bring it all back to the T-virus, DNA sequencing.
Man,
Resident Evil 4, 6. Yeah, IX. SIX.
Let's see here. I can't remember the name of this arcane game.
Deathloop?
Deathloop?
Deathloop, yeah. The trailer did not explain it very well, but some friends of mine seem to know more about it, and when they explained it, it sounded interesting.
Can you explain it? Because I kind of don't understand it still.
So I think the concept of it is that it's a PvPvE where there's 2 players. One of them is trying to assassinate the other, and is basically on a team of like 8 other assassins, which are AI, and then the other player is just trying to assassinate all of their teammates. So it's kind of like, imagine you're James Bond. You show up at a compound and you got to kill all the 8 bad guys. One of those bad guys is another player, and they're trying to counter kill you. So it's like you're trying to do a mission, they're trying to stop you. As like your arch nemesis.
That makes so much more sense.
Yeah. But
okay.
I agree that the trailer just kind of was flashy without much explanation.
Yeah, because I never got that there was another player playing in your loop.
Yeah, to me that read at the end when there's another character with another voice. It's like, okay, this is another player character who's invading the game and trying to disrupt the flow of things.
Huh. So I wonder if... So then is it a campaign or is it a...
I think it's a roguelike.
I'd assumed it was like map-based roguelike where it's like you enter a mission or an operation, you have your targets, you
Cool.
go, and then if you can stop them, then and obviously there's like looks like there's tons of cosmetic and like loadout options.
Yeah.
So that's how I imagine they're gonna make replayability.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, because I was always like, oh, I guess they could have another player who's AI that could be trying to stop you in every loop, which I guess could be the campaign. But if it's a roguelike, that makes way more sense.
That was the vibe that I got. Like Prey, Moon Crash. Not that the two are related, despite they're made by different arcanes. But Prey, Moon Crash kind of works like that. It is a roguelike where you're on this moon base and you can explore the whole thing, but you have story objectives for specific characters. And the goal is to do a run of Moon Crash where every character escapes. But so you can play through as a character and die, and then that kind of means you can't really beat the game with that run. But you, as other players, you can like grind up their skills, or you can discover new things about the way that they operate, or you can discover like progress their story objectives in your run. And then you have to reset it and start the whole thing over, but your characters retain some of their progress, and you as a player retain knowledge about the working of the game and how to achieve objectives quickly. So I see a lot of that in Deathloop, where it's like you start by assassinating one target, and then you learn how to kill them relatively quickly. But then you learn like, oh, if I change these events, then they'll move over here. Okay, now I can kill 2 targets. And then once I change these things, then those 2 guys go over here, and now I can do 3. So I think it's the process of trying to figure out how you can kill everyone in one day, get that like perfect run, that perfect roguelike run, while also players are invading your game and messing with you.
Yeah. That makes complete sense. I trust Arcane. They're always really good at what they do. So I was just trying to figure out what would get me hooked into this game, and that makes way more sense. Cool.
The idea of invading somebody else's roguelike game and destroying them is pretty fun, especially if you know the game and you know they're kind of on the verge of winning, and then you can just shut it all down. Oh, that's such a rough feeling.
That's a lot like similar is Destiny's Gambit. You get to go over to the other side and fuck with their progression. That's really fun. That's actually really fun.
Yeah, something similar was supposed to happen in like Doom Eternal, is that you could invade other players' games as a demon and try and kill them while they were doing a single player campaign. They still say it's coming, but it's been pushed back and back.
I'm there whenever it's ready. That sounds like Left 4 Dead style.
Oh yeah, yes.
Speaking of which, the Left 4 Dead updates. Do you guys see about that?
No, what?
Valve is updating Left 4 Dead 2.
What?
Well, yeah, Valve's not doing it.
Well, yeah, exactly. Basically, the community made an update patch, and Valve's like, okay, we'll update it, and then they've like graced it with their official blessing. But it is counting as like the first official update to this game for I don't know how many years. So a lot of people started getting excited about just Left 4 Dead again.
I mean, it's a great game, and I can't believe they're updating it. That's insane.
It's a good reason to play Left 4 Dead again.
Yeah. It was like what started my channel, so a bunch of people were excited to have me revisit it again, and I was like, you know what? Okay, it's good nostalgia blast.
People in chat are asking me about they're saying that games on PS5 and Xbox Series X are $70.
Yeah, there's some of that going around. Like Demon Souls, I guess, has been confirmed at 70. Spider-Man is 70, which is kind of weird considering it's not a full game, but it also has another game packaged with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I expected publishers were going to start feeling out $70 price points, and here we are.
I mean, again, if they need to figure out a way to make just a game as a one-off and not game as a service like Avengers, and they can make a better game because of it, I'm okay with that. But also, I am, fucking 39 years old. So
damn it, CD Media. Sorry, you can't say a damn fucking thing without people $50 for Miles Morales by itself, $70 for Miles Morales plus Spider-Man, which is what I said. Jesus Christ, sorry.
Lawrence did say that. He actually literally said exactly.
Holy moly.
But I'm an adult, right? So it's like I have the $70 to pay for that. But if you're 18 years old, and is that going to turn you off from like you're like, well, I could spend 60 before, and now at 70, it's like, well, never mind. Is that going to stop people that extra $10?
No,
I don't know. I don't think it will.
But I mean, again, the people who wave the banners of pro-consumerism will fight it just because it's things getting more expensive, and that's bad. So there's going to be some grumbling about it, but people drop the money on it.
My only complaint then, if games are $70 and then they are also trying to milk you for microtransactions in those games, then I'll be upset.
Yeah.
But if they're not, if they're just delivering a single player experience, that's the 20-hour game or whatever for $70, and it's good, I'm all for it. Totally fine. So.
Which that's gonna make things like Game Pass seem more valuable and like compared to that. So you got to drop $50 on an 8-hour Spider-Man game, or you pay $15 a month and you get 300 games. For people that are worried about value, I can see them sort of like grumbling and switching over to Game Pass or something like that and having that be it. But I think for the other people that want the prestige experience of a big flashy Sony first-party game, they'll pay for it.
They always do.
That's the thing. Like when I talk about the way the market works, I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing. I'm more like looking at the trends, and discretionary spending has not slowed at all, despite the state of the world. There's still plenty of people throwing money at video games, even more so, really, than ever. So when it comes to the question of like, are people going to pay $70? Yes, they are. I don't think that that's a good thing. I also am a little frustrated that like gaming profits are higher than they've ever been. So it's not really a question of like, do they need the money or are they not making enough money? Because they are. It's more, can we raise the price? Yes. So let's do it. I think that's kind of really what it comes down to, which is rough to swallow as a consumer, but that's the game, man. That's capitalism.
It is. That's the way it works. And I mean, Game Pass, you can get 4.5 months of Game Pass for as much as you would pay for, a $60 game. And that's pretty good.
70.
But if they get, right, exactly. If they get you past those 4 or 5 months, then at that point, that was only one game you paid for. That's why Game Pass is an insane deal, dude. It's crazy. It is crazy. So, and I'm not like, this is not an ad. It's just more of just like, it blows my mind that you can do that still. Pay $15 a month to get that, but Xbox is counting on you forgetting about the subscription.
Oh, sure.
And then just letting it go for an entire year, and at that point, you've given them a lot of money. So.
Yeah, it's I guess what I actually like the most about this conference is, to me, it really does reinforce that Sony and Xbox, or I should say PlayStation and Xbox, are really betting on different value propositions for the next generation. Mm-hmm. I'm really, really fascinated to see how that plays out. Really, really fascinated. I wouldn't have guessed that Sony's kind of prestige first-party stuff would be enough to carry their platforms, but it totally was. Spider-Man moved tons of PS4s, tons of them. Yeah. So, are people going to pay $500 plus another $70 to get Ultimate Super Edition of Spider-Man? I mean, yeah. Everything seems to say that they will. It's easy to stack them up and be like, well, $470 for Miles Morales over there, or $415 for basically Microsoft's back catalog in its entirety. It's so easy to pick one, like if you're just stacking it up by the numbers, but I think the banner releases do count for a lot.
Yep, they do. I mean, Last of Us, how many copies has Last of Us 2 sold? Just a fuck ton.
It's been slightly disputed. Let me check here.
Because I keep seeing huge sales numbers for Last of Us 2 as one of the biggest titles that PlayStation 4 has had in its generation.
Spider-Man is on another tier. Spider-Man was like 13 million. Let me see. Man. Yeah, I actually looked that up before it started because I was curious. Spider-Man is just a phenomenon.
Wow.
Let's see your sales. Part 2 sold 4 million copies worldwide, becoming the fastest selling PlayStation 4 exclusive, beating Marvel Spider-Man's 3.3 and God of War's 3.1 in the same period.
Oh, interesting.
Did it get to...
I don't know that it's gotten to the same amount as Spider-Man, because that's crazy. I didn't know it was 13 million.
Huh. Yeah, I don't see... I don't see like total sales because Sony probably hasn't reported them.
Mm-hmm. You're probably right.
I miss the old days. I miss like monthly marketing reports. That was so fun. Oh no! They just took down the Demon's Souls trailer. It's possible the PC news was false after all, or maybe that Sony just didn't want them saying it was on PC until a certain point, so they could have this exclusivity marketing window.
That's why I was asking, because I was like, if they really put it on PC, then that's gonna cut down their sales by a third at least.
Dark Souls though, huh? I mean, Demon's Souls. Whoops.
Demon's Souls looked great.
It did, but it also didn't look like gameplay sometimes.
Okay, so we had Chris Lynn in the chat,
Hmm.
and obviously Lynn's a developer, but take whatever he says as it is. He was saying they would not have rendered, like, this wouldn't have been a cutscene or like an engine whatever rendering if they had rendered it at him running into geography. And like
Hmm.
there are a few glitches here and there with the sword and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, interesting. Also, they said at the beginning of this conference that everything from here on out, this is all on PlayStation 5, played on PlayStation 5. So I don't know if that means it was played or if it was just run on PlayStation 5. But yeah, I mean, it looked like gameplay.
That's a really good point. I was a little taken aback by some of the camera movements.
Me too.
Like I guess they just had an artist holding the controller because there was some very graceful and like super like accelerated it into and out of camera motion. Game cameras are getting to where they can do that automatically. Like Last of Us Part 2 actually applied tons of like cinematic tweening to how you move the camera around to make it look smooth all the time.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I guess there is some start and stop to some of these camera motions. So yeah, I can kind of see the controller behind it a little bit.
Yeah, it's I mean, it would be a weird thing to try and mimic the camera if they were
That's true.
making it.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
But I mean,
The weird thing for me was like everything died to one hit, and
Yeah.
it felt like a really like pre-rendered. Like
did.
It's like they took the gameplay and then just smoothed it over into like a cinematic, approach to it, where they removed UI and just tried to make it like one seamless.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't know. It was weird. It didn't feel
was
believable
weird.
one way or another.
It looked great, but it was weird.
Yeah, it was on journalist mode, right? Zing.
It's to me, I was just like, oh, they're just trying to get you through. Basically, they're just trying to walk him through the environment, show him kill a few enemies, and then get to the boss.
Mhm.
In the 3-minute trailer or whatever they showed. That's what it felt like to me, but it does seem strange. It seems really strange.
I'm gonna guess they just didn't have final UI and they had to record something.
Yeah, that don't make sense. I mean, I don't think that's the problem. I think it's just people are going to be analyzing this gameplay, and it isn't really gameplay. It's more just like a visual reference almost.
Right.
I don't know. It's hard to tell if it's supposed to represent it or not, because it's clear that like I don't think anything's supposed to die in one hit like that, unless this is a scripted opening sequence where you're a badass hero and get killed. It could
Maybe,
be, but
yeah.
like that just seems like a misleading thing to lead with. I don't know. Can anyone confirm this part in Demon's Souls, the original, if it felt or looked anything? I mean, not looked, but if it felt anything like this, or is this just
That's
an
a
entirely
good question.
original thing?
That's a good question for our chat.
Oh, I'm sure
Is,
that they tweaked the stats to make it like
Oh yeah.
just
Absolutely.
play through solidly. That's the tutorial area? Okay.
Okay, so so Nerdpause. That's what Nerdpause said. It's like the tutorial area of the game.
How about that you died
Right.
font though, huh? Made me want to throw up. Throw up on myself.
Why did everybody hate that font so much?
That font is garbage.
Oh wait, let me see it. I don't remember it.
It's not that
Oh
bad.
yeah.
That's a bad font. That's a bad font. Like it's like half serif and half not. Come on. Pick one or the other.
I'm with Lawrence on that one. It does not. It
Oh,
looks like it's trying to be like a modernized, like a more kind of
I want to see this.
version.
What is
of
this?
it.
What is this shit font? Why does it?
I love it.
Oh, it's not serif at all. What the fuck? And it's like,
It's not. I love how upset you guys got about it because I noticed that. I was like, oh, that's different, but it didn't bother me.
but it's not like symmetric. Why is it like it's got these little skinny bits? It looks like it's the. This is what you should use when you're like making a sign for a coffee shop, not something where you die in like a dark medieval horror. Get out of here! This is a trash game. $70. Bullshit. Can't even get the fonts right.
Is this like a completely new game, or is this just a like?
Yeah, that U is the worst. I'm not giving this up, Bruce. You gotta suffer through this. That one is with this U. It looks like an upside down lowercase n.
Hey, you can say as much as you want. You can hate that font as long as you want. Right. Is this supposed to be a remaster, or is this supposed to be like the full? Like, is it a completely new game? Is it like Resident Evil? What are we thinking?
It's a remaster of Demon Souls. The trailer, the trailer that they showed to announce it was shot for shot the original trailer for Demon Souls.
Okay.
And I think this is the launch game. This is the one where like, and it kind of plays off of generational wraparound too of all the. And to a degree, Demon Souls kind of saved difficult RPGs for an entire console generation. So having this sort of be, I think this is more the sleeper actual game you're going to be playing for a while. Miles Morales, you buy it, it's big, expensive, and pretty, and it's over in 5 hours or 8 hours or whatever. This is the game where like you go back to it, and this is the one you show off to people when they come over. You're like, hey, check this shit out. It's like 4K 60 FPS. I think that's what it is, right? I'm sure somebody in chat will have accurate information for me shortly, but yeah, I feel like this is the one where you finally understand why you just paid $500.
I mean, it looks fantastic. Like,
Yeah.
this is immediately, I was like, oh wow! Like, and I was saying this before. No From Software game gets me really excited because they're all, to me, very similar, except for maybe Sekiro. But this was like, wow! This actually looks really different, and maybe not as From Software-y as those other games. So. I'm sure it won't be, but
if it's a faithful recreation of Demon Souls, it's going to be more From Software than anything
no, you're
else.
right. Yeah, it's going to be completely true to their brand. But I don't know. We'll see. It looks good at least, so that's good.
Kind of, yeah. One of the crazy things is, especially with Demon Souls, like artistic design was always one of just the biggest punches to the gut for these games. The environments you move through, the enemy design, the sense of foreboding of the world. And the fact that could get up-res to like 4K, HDR, 60 FPS.
Yeah.
That's exactly what a remaster like this should be. And it seems like they've just nailed the feeling of it so well, which is awesome. Man.
Yeah. I was never excited about the way Dark Souls or Bloodborne looked ever. But
Man.
this has gotten me excited.
Dude, really? Oh. Dark Souls and
Yeah.
Bloodborne have some of the most amazing environments.
They do. They have really interesting. It just wasn't my thing. I don't know.
It is very goth, though. You were never like a metalhead, were you?
No.
Yeah.
Not a metalhead by any means, but
Where my goth king's at.
Somebody
Rise
says
forth
not a
from the
remaster.
shadows.
Are you sure it's not a remaster?
somebody in my chat said it's a full remake.
Yeah, that's my understanding too.
So I don't know.
Remake, not remaster. What? Oh, I guess remaster imply. Oh, right. We've nailed these terms down. Remaster implies like different mechanics. That's like Resident Evil 2, huh? Okay, fine. Remake. It's hard for me to believe that the remake of Demon Souls will be 100% accurate mechanically to the original. But maybe it will be. Maybe it will be. Maybe there's going to be all that weird world alignment stuff that everyone loved so much. That'll be weird, but interesting. Like, are they going to bring the alignment servers back on, I guess? Oh, yeah, RE2 is a remake. What? Okay, hold on.
Gosh. Wait, so what is a remake and what's a remaster? Define those terms and then tell me what this is.
I guess remake builds the game mechanically from the ground up to be like an old game. Remaster is the same mechanical basis but with a visual lift.
Yeah, basically a remaster is you take all the graphical assets and you replace them with higher res and a better like looking version.
It's really hard for me.
Is mechanically making new stuff. I mean, I think
That's
the Resident
good.
Evil example is a good way to think about it.
There's-
Like they added a bunch to that game that wasn't in the original and mechanically, mirrored some things and then fixed others with more original stuff.
So then that would be a remake, right? The Resident Evil would be a remake.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's zero chance that maybe like a 0.5% chance that anything from the original Demon Souls is in that game. Are you serious? You think they got the engine code from Software and built it on top of that was running on a PS3 like trash?
Yeah, no.
I do think that
You can reuse stuff. I mean, I don't think that's what we're arguing. I think we're just saying
But
that it's
to me,
got
it
fresh
just
stuff
seems
added
more
on top.
polished. I would
Yeah.
imagine they would just.
You
like,
can take the code base and you just improve upon it and remake parts that don't work for the new software, or could be improved for the new software. That's my understanding, at least.
I don't know.
I mean, I would just it's hard for me to imagine that any of the software and the work that went into the original Demon Souls is being used in this. Like PS3 code running on a PS5, I doubt it very heavily.
I kind of agree. I agree with Lawrence. I don't know why they would be, because I think at this point they could probably recognize what was not working with that game and fix it.
Yeah, and rebuild it faster than it would take to port PS3 code. That's splitting hairs. We're not saying that. Actually, somebody literally said that. So, but this to me feels like a game that was rebuilt to recreate that experience, even if it's trying to be as accurate to the original experience. It's splitting hairs again, but yeah, I don't I don't think the original Demon Souls is there.
No, yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I think the question, unfortunately, that everybody keeps asking us is, are you going to buy it? But I mean, I feel like we all don't have a choice since it's our job. Because is anybody here not going to buy the PS5?
I don't feel a sense of urgency to buy it. I'll probably get it, but like I'm not gonna.
Probably get it, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like I'm waiting for it. I don't know. I feel like we're in a weird position to be answering this as
Right.
entertainers.
Exactly. Yeah, me too. Because Lawrence, you and I are going to get it day one, right?
Yeah. I'm not. This is gonna sound so spoiled. I'm not as excited for it as I usually am, but I mean, I swore a blood oath to video games a long time ago. So yeah, I'm kind of honor bound to buy every new thing. And to some degree, I am like, it's always fun. These things are so expensive that there's just an amount of fun to unboxing them and pulling all the little plastic trays out and reading the manual and pulling all the little foam off of all your little HDMI cables and stuff. And then, booting it for the first time and it plays a nice little chime and it's like, hello, welcome to PlayStation 5. And you're like, yay.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think, like, it's not quite the same as like getting a GameCube with a Rogue Squadron or Wave Race. Just like something that really blows. I mean, actually, I take that back. Demon's Souls might be that game. I can see Demon's Souls.
I really hope so. Man.
Being that game where I just like my eyes are swimming at the next genness that's flowing into my body.
That would be great. I don't know. Unfortunately, since I'm a PC Master Race type of guy, I'm gonna have the 3080 or 3090 or whatever before I get the PlayStation, and so I'm already gonna have been like, this is trash. If I see the PlayStation versus the RTX 3080. But that said, it is still really exciting to see something completely. It feels new, right? Even though it's a video game and we know what it is, it still feels new and it looks beautiful compared to what you saw in the previous generation. That's still really, really exciting. Is it worth $400 or $500? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, no. Consoles are never worth their cost on the first day.
Yeah.
That cost is slowly realized over the next few years as software actually comes out for it.
Yeah, that's I agree, but I don't know if people. I'm not sure because like you're right. The launch titles there's nothing here, other than Demon Souls. So.
And I'm still just slightly annoyed at the form factor of the PS5. It's going to be so ostentatious. Wherever it is, it's going to be loud all the time. Not like audibly, but yeah.
Point. No, that was the whole point. I mean, both consoles are sticking up now. Both of them, PS5 and the Series X, are both standing up, and I can't fit them in my little TV stand.
Do you think there's like a really, beautiful kind of irony to, the infancy of the console wars being when the consoles are all lying down, and now that they're grown up, they're standing up on two legs?
Oh, that's so nice.
There you go.
They're like teenagers
that
now.
way. Yeah, they're teenagers.
They're
in their angsty years. They did a whole graphical, relook, painted their hair white.
Yeah.
And people people keep trying to get the teenager to like go and get a job, but they're like, no, Mom, I'm gonna remake Demon Souls instead.
I don't need to do anything because I have PS4 games.
Yeah.
Which I was a little bummed that they didn't say anything more definite about backwards compatibility. That's kind of a sore point with me. I don't know. They had their like PS4 Mega Pack, which seemed like it was a stopgap to try to make it seem like there's more software on the thing this holiday. But
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, PS5 has 5 first-party titles available on day one. What are those, Cesare? There's Miles Morales,
Demon Souls,
Astrobot, Demon Souls. There's, I guess, 2 other ones I'm not thinking of.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Knack 3, if only. Yeah, another conference where we don't get to see Knack 3. Oh yeah, Sackboy. Forgot about that.
Ratchet and Clank. Is Ratchet and Clank launch?
Who can say? I feel like PlayStation's done a really bad job letting people know exactly what's going to be available on day one. That's eventually coming in. Destruction All Stars. What the? Wait, is that the What is Destruction All Stars?
I don't know.
Have they? Hold on. Oh, that one. Yes, that game. Huh.
Now I
Okay.
have people in my chat saying Demon Souls is not a launch title.
Holy moly. Jeff Keighley!
Well, Shard, you're gonna have to go out and start Googling because everybody else says it is. So
Let me see if that tweet from old Jeffers is still up.
good luck.
It seems like even. Oop, that was not the right.
Dude, Jeff is in such a good position now as like the voice of,
Yeah, of
reason,
video games.
right? It's like people go to him to be like, wait, is this true, Mr. Jeff? And he says, yes, this is true. I don't know why he sounded like Morgan Freeman for a second, but
No, yeah, he is in a really good position.
why, yes, this is true.
I mean, yeah, his tweet's still up about it being a launch title. Okay.
All right, well, Demon Souls. Jeff Keighley says Demon Souls is a launch title, confirmed.
Does it feel weird? I guess Jeff never really propped himself up as being a journalist, but it feels strange to me for somebody who's seen as kind of like you said an arbiter of information, but their pinned tweet is telling you how you can pre-order a PS5. I guess that's the information people want, but it does make it seem awfully like he's trying to sell you a PS5, which I guess is fine. Whatever. Sometimes those connections get a little strange to me.
Yeah.
For all the like rabble rousing people do about the connections between journalists and games PR, like people who are paid nothing to crank out blog articles. Very little mention is made of like the media ties that Jeff Keighley has while also running award. Well, no, there were some mentions about it. Whatever. This is not a like muck rake about Jeff
Are
Keighley.
you putting the hit out on Jeff?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying.
Lawrence and Jeff are friends.
Yeah. No, I respect his work to a great degree. It's just sometimes there are double standards is way too strong of a term. But sometimes people get awfully mad about something over there, but it's happening over there with like in full daylight and no one seems mad. Mostly because I guess nobody pretends like there's anything going wrong, so everybody just assumes there's nothing going wrong.
Yeah.
Does it come with a memory card though? That's the real question.
Well, I guess I'll be getting the disk drive version, even though you don't really need it.
Yeah, I'm not.
So.
I don't want the extra bulk. This is
That's a good point. Yeah.
I don't want either. I do, but I just don't want it to look like that. Maybe I can buy like, maybe there will be like replacement chassis cases, and I can just bust the thing open and put all the guts into something else that doesn't look so ostentatious.
You don't like it?
No.
Oh, I think it's awesome. I
Eh.
love those controllers. I love them.
Oh, I hate them. I haven't liked PlayStation controllers for a while now.
Oh no, I hate them too. I mean, like the form factor, I hate PlayStation controllers absolutely, but I love the look of them, the white and the black. It looks cool to me. I don't. Craig, what about you?
I like it.
Yeah. It looks like a router. I mean, it does.
Yep. I mean,
No. Yeah.
I hate the fact that white, blue, and black, like all combined into one thing, means there's nothing you can put this around so it won't stand out. That's really what aggravates me the most. And
You're right. You're right.
it's to me it is like kind of peak
You
Sony
don't want to
puffing
show
their
off
chest
your
out.
Yeah, you wanna
epic
show-
gamer
come on.
console?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, that's right. I got a PS5. Yeah, you picked the right house to come by.
yeah. Chill out and watch me play Dark
BJ?
Souls.
I was making PB&Js, wasn't I? That's right. I got a PS5.
Man, Kraken's not even trying to impress a girl. He's trying to impress his friends.
I'm
Yeah.
impressed.
I assume that's what we're all doing, right? First thing you do when you get one of those is invite people over. Oh, what's that over there? And it's just like,
Oh, that's nothing. I'm already bored of that.
I'm already bored of that. Oh, that's trash. You can have it if you want.
You guys want to watch me play some PS4 games on a PS5? Like they didn't even say if those are going to get up-resed or anything. It's just, hey, here's some games you can download. That's weird.
Yeah. I don't really know the appeal of playing those games that you can already play and have already played on a new console.
Yeah, I have no patience for that stuff at all. That's like that has never been a selling point to me. But
I mean,
again,
it would only be
I'm
a selling point for people that skipped the PS4 and went all these years without playing any of those games, and they're like, all right, I guess I'll play a PS5.
Well,
It's
But
funny,
like, it's been so long, you know.
Kraken, it's funny you say that because I skipped every other PlayStation and then
Yeah.
bought the PS4. It
Me
still
too.
didn't matter. I wasn't like, oh man, I can't wait to play all the old games from PS3. I was like, I don't care.
I played PS2 and then PS4. I skipped PS3. and that was
Yeah.
a lot of people a golden era of the PlayStation.
I mean, there's value to be had there if they're up-resed or something. Like Bloodborne at 60 FPS would be awesome. And I think for the right kind of player, that would be a pretty good reason to get a PS5 in addition to an up-res Demon Souls. But they haven't said that. That's more of a Microsoft thing of being like, hey, our Xbox 360 and original Xbox games are all going to run in 4K now for anyone who wants that. Yeah, it's very weird to me that like they couldn't even make a broad statement about backwards compatibility. And the statement they did make is that, hey, we got these games ready. Which tells me that there's probably not going to be a lot of backwards compatibility, really. So, I mean, if you're busy playing Demon Souls, then it doesn't matter, but... The entire collection. Okay, well, whatever.
Cool. Well, that's... I thought it wasn't bad. I think this is better than the Xbox One.
Yes.
So, by a long shot, that Xbox reveal was weird. So,
Was it weird? I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was kind of eh.
How
And,
have they been dealing with... Oh, wait, maybe I did see it. I don't know. There's been so many like game conference announcement stuff that are trying to be like E3, but their own thing.
It
It's
wasn't.
hard for me to...
The Halo
track.
thing. The Halo reveal was the only thing that they showed that even then people shit on that. So
Yeah. Well,
It's-
people always shit on these things too. I feel like it's become kind of a cultural standpoint to like find little thick ways to nitpick these shows when I think they're all in all pretty well done.
yeah, I agree. This one felt to me better than the Xbox One though. So
Hmm.
I was more excited by it, and I'm not even a Sony pony. So
Yeah, probably the furthest from it, Bruce.
generally, yeah. I mean, like usually I'm probably more on the Microsoft
Can
side
we-
of things, but yeah.
Can we talk about the history of where the whole Sony pony, zealot fan base came from? Because once I realized this was a thing, it was fascinating to me. But I had it missed me for many years that there's like this diehard group of people that live and die by their PlayStation, boards. So
I mean, there's only one answer, and the answer is they have to justify their purchase. So since they only had money for one, they bought the one, and then died on that hill.
well, why doesn't that
because they
exist
had to
to the
say-
same degree for Microsoft then? Is it that they've
Oh,
branched out to
it does.
PC as well?
No, it does. They're an Xbox fan, but Microsoft. I guess in recent years, Microsoft has been a little more open, especially since you can play most of their games on PC now.
Mhm.
So I would say that even now, at this point, I don't think that people are as like zealous about Microsoft as they are about Sony, because Sony, you can only play it on a PlayStation.
So I remember seeing a bunch of posts of like, once they announced that Horizon or whatever was going to be coming out on PC as well, there was like this actual negative reaction from the fan base. So they're like, "But this was our exclusive," and like I just couldn't wrap my head around that.
I think it's ridiculous, personally. And again, I'll go back to the same thing. They had to justify their purchase, because it's like when you go over to somebody's house and they bought a new television, and if, for example, you pointed out a flaw with their television, they would get really upset about it and defend it, and be like, "No, this is the best television that I could." Like, I read all these reviews and it's got this and this and this. It's like they get upset about that, but it's because they spend a lot of money on it, right? So they have to justify their purchase. That's usually where this comes from. So
I think there's another factor.
what's that? Yeah.
A bit generational, but at this point you have a whole crew of internet savvy people that grew up with this brand. The first time they felt anything was playing Final Fantasy VII on a PlayStation 1. So they just have very I feel like, hopefully to put a bit more of a positive spin on it, aside from just sunk cost, is like, there's people who grew up with this brand and feel like they experienced all these things because of this brand. So I feel like it makes sense that there would be not only an attachment to that ecosystem, but also a desire to preserve it. Because, like, I mean, even the PlayStation 1 boot up sound has like Pavlovian responses in gamers 2 decades on of that sick, very warm sound. that's what you do. That's how you drill it deep into people's psyche. You have like the branding, the audio response, and then you attach that to good times, especially when a lot of people, some of the best times they have when they're playing video games, because life can be rough, and sometimes you need that escapism. So if PlayStation is the key that unlocks a whole universe of, people not screaming at you all day, then I can see developing very powerful emotional associations with it because of that. And then also feeling like, if you open the doors on that experience, that it's going to dilute it, change it, or destroy it.
Might I say, doth my ears deceive me? Does Lawrence have a optimistic perspective and Bruce a pessimistic one?
Not at all.
Doth the universe be thine reversed of thine day?
Not at all. I was actually going to say, no, they shouldn't convert those feelings to negative feelings. They shouldn't then gatekeep people because they get to play Horizon on a PC. They should be like, welcome to the Sony fan base, rather than
welcome, like, PC brothers playing on a Microsoft computer, traitor.
So I do like Lawrence's positive spin on it, though, because Lawrence, I think you're completely correct. I just hope they don't convert those feelings to a gatekeeping negative feeling.
It's tough because I feel like there's a way to do the console wars thing and the platform thing, and it can be fun. It can be like sports. You're like, boo, all you Xbox people, you're shit. And you show up every Sunday, you drink your beer, you scream a little bit, and you get it out of the system, and then you go home. I like console wars as long as that's where it ends. It's just people sort of throwing around ridiculous insults. And to a degree, I kind of miss that those are going away. So I fundamentally miss there is a fun dynamic that emerges around locking games to platforms and people sort of buying into an ecosystem and getting a little culty and weird about it. But yeah, that's going away for the better. I think that's just better for everyone in general. That said, I do think you do miss a little spark of, taking your GameCube home and playing something the first day. That doesn't, I guess Miles Morales is it now. That's never going to show up somewhere else. Yeah, that's true.
Maybe.
Unless people in my chat were saying it's coming to PC day one.
Although I guess that trailer's gone now. I don't know. The thing is, like, Nintendo still has that in spades because they're still making Mario games.
Yeah.
But like PlayStation 5, I'm an old asshole who was hoping for like a new Wipeout. Like all the things that I played on PlayStation 1 are just not really around anymore. Crash Bandicoot 4, I guess, is existing, but that's not Sony first party. So the things that I deeply associate with PlayStation are just not active brands anymore because Sony killed all those developers, which is weird that they don't get any flack for shutting down Studio Liverpool. But again, that's one of those, like, nobody cares. Like, Activision shuts one studio down and it's the end of the world, but Sony can kill an entire... Anyway, yeah, it's... Like, an Xbox should launch with Halo. A PlayStation should launch with Jet Moto and Gran Turismo. But those things just don't happen anymore. So, to me, the culture of rooting for your box doesn't mean what it used to in more ways than just Horizon Zero Dawn is now on PC. So I'm kind of willing to let that go, even though I would totally be in there scrapping it up if there were a new Wipeout I could scream about.
Well, I always try to discourage gatekeeping as much as I possibly can. So if your friend finally gets to play Horizon like I did for the first time on a PC a few weeks ago, and I was super into it or whatever, then hey man, welcome them. Be like, cool. Isn't that great? Wasn't it great when this happened? Wasn't it great when this happened? Rather than be like, you know what? Fuck you, man. I bought that. I'm old time. I bought that years ago. I beat it so long. I'm so good at it. It's like, nah, dude. Just be happy they're enjoying it. That's all. That's it.
I feel like a very similar conversation just happened in like the VTuber community, which is sort of biting off something we don't need to bite off.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah, the VTuber thing.
I do feel like it is a really fascinating conversation to get into, like, when do we have the rights to curate our community the way we want? I don't think that factors into console wars at all. And yeah, sure. PC fans can get awfully annoying too. Infinite Emeralds, you're 100% right about that. Who Nelly?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm a PC fanboy through and through, and I have been for 20 years. But I'm not going to come out and be like, you shouldn't be playing anything else other than PC. Like, Sony and Xbox, those are trash. Like, you should only be playing, and if you're playing on a Sony, like playing Demon's Souls on a PS5 rather than a PC, you're stupid. Like, I would never do that.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing where, like, we're kind of hardwired to seek an identity in some sort of belief, that system, and a defendable position that we can vehemently believe in. And the world doesn't really work that way, but whenever we find a way to slot something neatly into a class or an identity, then people will do that. So this, to many people, probably seems like a harmless way of being able to have that sort of self-control and identity, is being like, I'm the PC guy. At least that's how I've always thought about it. But so I try to go easy on people that obsess over it. But yeah, in general, gatekeeping is a slippery slope. You can be proud of something, and that's fine, but don't force it on other people's throats or belittle their first,
or belittle them. Right. That's the no need to insult.
Yeah. This is maybe digging a little too deep. That's just my tendency, but I would say the core of it is you have to form an identity and a personality around something other than consuming media products.
Yeah.
But that
in general,
that takes time. You're young.
It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta find. I mean, people self-identify through all sorts of things. So I kind of tell myself the people who are really getting a little too caliente with the branding conflicts, or maybe a little young, and they're searching for self-identity, and they found it through a product.
Exactly. Yeah.
And boy, the aftershocks that arise from that are a little intense. It's just like there are plenty of brands willing to swoop in and be that identity for you because it means money for them. So that it gets creepy when there's people targeting the youth.
It is really creepy when you think about it in those terms. You think of Big Papa fucking Sony being like, yes, that's right. This is for you. It's your identity.
Yeah, that's why they put their fucking logo every time you boot up your PlayStation and it plays that awesome sound that you love to hear. It's so they embed themselves in your psyche for the next decade or two. And it worked. God damn it.
I was going to say, you guys are talking about how when they were selling cigarettes to kids back in the 50s or whatever, they're marketing it to children. I mean, that's exactly what they did. The same thing with vapes right now. So it's, I guess that's my only advice to somebody who's 16, 17 years old. Be aware that you are trying to be manipulated. So don't be manipulated by that stuff.
No. Get in the internet and fight for them. Defend your corporation.
Okay, all right. Do that too.
It reminds me of the company man kind of world in Japan, the fact that you can get buried in a company's graveyard when you pass because you're such a good employee, and that's the ultimate honor. It's that, but in a even more messed up way, that you're not even being paid by this company. You pay them, and because you pay them, you now have the privilege to be their champions, their little white knights that will defend their honor. I don't know.
That's Apple. Funny. You're describing Apple.
Yeah, it's true.
It's been Apple for years. That they won that war by, like you said, getting people to market for them.
Yes, until now. Yeah, as one in your chat just brought up, Team Apple or Team Epic. That is the most fascinating and dystopian thing I've ever seen. Is Fortnite mobilizing their child user base to boycott and fight Apple's, monetization systems so they can carve over a pretty penny. And granted, Apple's developer terms are pretty fucking awful. They are taking a huge cut of microtransactions for seemingly, little reason, just because they have a monopoly. So, I give them that. But the fact that it's coming from Epic, which is also an enormous company, is just I mean, you can argue that at least they have the pockets to actually fight that fight. But the fact, I don't know, just the idea of opening Fortnite and having a splash screen telling all these 13-year-olds to hop on the computer or go grab their mom and dad and tell them to stop using Apple products is just, oh man, it's so surreal.
It's so weird. It's just such a weird nobody sits back and reflects on the fact that they are defending a billion-dollar company. I mean, multi-billion-dollar company.
Well, I guess to some degree you're voting on your next boss. I think one step beyond it is one of these two companies is going to dictate how shit goes in the future, so you might as well be on the side of the one that has the vision of how you want to consume. Which it's a little dystopian, but I can see the logic behind picking a side if they apparently espouse the market virtues that you want.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, this is the future, you guys. We can't be old men saying this is silly. People fighting in the corporate wars is going to happen in the next 10 years. So
they're going to literally fight in the corporate wars.
They're going to hire Fortnite players. Yeah, it's just Fucking flossing on the battlefield against the mechanized Apple bots that are all respond to Alexa and like. I mean, Alexa's Amazon. I got. Now they entered the fray.
Oh yeah,
Activated.
Amazon's definitely in the fray.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you ever want to look to the like how somebody else should treat somebody else, generally these companies treat each other really well. So Microsoft and Sony are always really respectful, and they're always tweeting each other and being like, "Hey, congratulations on your launch," and "Congratulations on this," and like they're always trying to be nice in public, which is cool. So look to them to be also respectful and nice to your fellow Microsoft.
They try to come across
fanboys.
professional, in a public capacity, which is at least I'm grateful for that. Yeah, I mean, it is. I'm like sure, very largely just a PR move and put on all that sort of stuff. But
but it's still nice.
It's
they don't
still
have to do it.
but an effort. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, they don't have to do it at all. They could just be like, they could ignore it entirely. So I think it's cool. Yeah. Well, hey, we did it.
Yeah.
90 minutes.
Also, I didn't hit record, so this is going to be interesting to try to put together.
Yeah.
You even asked. I was recording when you said that. I don't know what happened. I must have tapped it at some point.
I also didn't hit it because of alarms. So.
Oh, good point. Yeah. Well, this will be the broadcast radio quality version. Bruce, you'll sound great.
I should, and unfortunately, when I was playing I didn't know this was going to happen. I was playing the B-roll with a little bit of audio. It's not going to affect. It won't affect.
That's going to be interesting. It
won't affect my audio, but it will affect Kraken's if you need Kraken's.
That's all right. You guys just edit me out. I'm not here.
Or we could just use one of our feeds.
Yeah, I think you sound pretty rough on mine. I probably sound really rough on yours, so we'll have to figure that trade out.
Yeah.
Oh well. PlayStation 5, huh?
Yeah.
Demon Souls, I think, has emerged as the one that I'm probably going to just like sit down. I feel like Miles Morales will probably like play through in one sitting the first night I get it, and then nights 2 through 20 are going to be Demon Souls. And then hopefully by then there's something else to play, but we'll see. Ratchet and Clank looks cool. It didn't show up here because I guess they don't have another demo.
What about Abe?
Oh yeah! New Oddworld.
Man, who cares?
Oh, you don't like it?
I have no attachment to Oddworld.
I'm just excited because the name kind of says what it is. It is always wildly creative.
Yeah, it's just a creative and kind of old property that I'm glad is still kicking. And, when I think of, this will be great and supported on PS5 hardware, that is not the game that comes to mind. I don't think of it as very intensive, but, it's a fun indie thing. So I'm always down for that.
Yeah. And the little cutscene they showed in the Oddworld segment looked pretty technologically cool. Again, like the weird thing is, this was broadcast on, I was watching on YouTube, 1080p 30 FPS. So in two ways, that's not what the PlayStation 5 will give you. It's not 4K and it's not 60. So I think the other thing to remember is, even though we may all be nonplussed by some of these demos, we're seeing them at like a quarter resolution and through shitty YouTube compression, which I think doesn't really tell you what the system's going to look like when you have it all wired up to your TV, your Sony Bravia.
I agree. We can't even stream 4K, so
yeah, 6 megabits. Have fun with next gen. Twitch.
We'll get there, but we can't do it now. So, but
yeah, I'm excited. Final Fantasy 16. There's some good pop moments.
Yeah.
PlayStation, you guys, back.